Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing you my team analysis for Week 4 of Season 2 of the Pokemon Premier League. This week we are taking on the Donphanatic and the Norwich Skitty. So, this is a pretty interesting match. Both of us are in very similar situations. We both started off pretty bad, starting off with 2 straight losses. However, myself and him, Jack, we both won last week, so now we're both sitting at 1 and 2, and are both in a similar situation of needing to win again to keep ourselves in the whatever you call it, the like the championship race. Usually you'd call it like a playoff race, but there's no playoffs, so it's just like the championship. Yeah, we still have a chance. We still have a chance at the title. The people, the person in first. I actually forget who's in first right now, but they're 3-0. We have 1 win, so that's only 2 wins different. But that does mean we really can't be losing. So, I got a little bit of an advantage this week as Jack went away to EGX. I had a little bit more time to prepare, an extra week, honestly. As well as I think I have the team matchup for this one. I don't think Jack is going to be quite ready for what I'm going to be bringing to the table, and I'm not really sure what he can bring to be ready to bring this to the table. I'm ready to win. I'm ready to show that I am a real competitor in this league, and yeah, we just need to roll off a couple wins, and then we can get some momentum on our side, and we will be good to go. So, with all of that out of the way, let's go over the team that Jack could potentially be bringing. Let's look at all the mons that he has to look at what he could be bringing. So his team consists of Weavile, Heatran, Aromatisse, Heliolisk, Mega Slowbro, Fortress, Hitmonchan, Torterra, Salamence, and Dodrio. A couple things that I see looking at this matchup is there was no poison type, so immediately I wanted to bring Toxic Spikes. As you can see on the screen, I decided to not do that. We'll get into why that is in just a little bit. He also has some pretty big weaknesses, as a mixture of fighting and ice coverage takes apart most of his team. And the things that are weak to ice are really weak to ice. He has 2 4 times weak to ice, 4 times weaknesses to ice on his team in Torterra and Salamence. I mean, Dodrio's not going to appreciate ice moves either. He has ways to kind of deal with that. Mega Slowbro can, take up, both fighting and ice, as well as, Heatran takes on ice and stuff like that. But I don't like, just his whole team doesn't really switch into a combination of that, with the exception of Aromatisse and Hitmonchan. So, just looking at his team and what I had to bring, we're just going to go into what I'm bringing right away. We're not going to waste time this week. First member that we're bringing, the first Pokemon that we're bringing is Mega Blastoise. Kevin Steen, the Mega Blastoise. I'm going, physically defensive again, with, max HP, max defense, the rest in special attack with a modest nature. The reason I'm going physically defensive again is because of the Weavile, because of the Stab knockoff. It's the same reason I brought it against the Crocodile last week. And so, I have to do it again for Weavile. The modest nature is because Aura Sphere, it's Rapid Spin, Ice Beam, Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse. Aura Sphere is going to be my go-to move. He doesn't have a great switch into Aura Sphere. The switch-ins that he has to Aura Sphere include Aromatisse, which can then get hurt by Ice Beam. It won't go down to those 2, but it still is going to do a decent chunk. Plus, Aromatisse can't do a whole lot back to Mega Blastoise. He can switch Mega Slowbro in on an Aura Sphere, but then he doesn't want to take a Dark Pulse, because that does a heck of a lot. And then Hitmonchan is the similar situation. It's not going to die to 2 Aura Spheres or an Aura Sphere plus another move, but it is going to take a good chunk of damage and can't really do a lot back. So, Mega Blastoise can be brought in against a decent amount of things, namely Weavile. Could be potentially against other things, Dodrio, a Torterra not going for a grass type move, which I probably wouldn't do that. I could bring it on like Fortress, there's so many things that I can bring Mega Blastoise on, and then it just puts so much pressure on his team. The Modest Nature, I didn't even get to finish saying that. The Modest Nature is because without it, Heliolisk has a better chance to live in Aura Sphere. If he predicts me to go for a water move, or like a Scald, you know, he might switch in Heliolisk. It's really hard to predict how Jack is going to play. He's capable of being a really, really good battler. He's also capable of being a very risky, unnecessarily risky battler. So it's really going to be tough to judge, you know, what kind of moves he's going to make, which is going to make our job a little bit harder. But, you know, say he predicts a water move and I go for Aura Sphere. Ideally, I would want it to straight up take out, you know, Heliolisk. And without the Modest Nature, it's a very low chance to do that. With the Modest Nature, it's a very good chance to take it out. So, yeah, that just eliminates that from being a switch-in. Plus, I don't really need, like, a Bold Nature, just, you know, because I already live knockoffs from Weavile well enough. That's if Weavile even shows up. Last week, you know, I thought Crocodile was going to show up, but, you know, our opponent was deterred from bringing Crocodile because we had the Mega Blastoise. So I don't know if Jack's going to feel the same way and not bring Weavile, because we actually do have a couple of checks to Weavile, honestly. Weavile doesn't really tear through my team the way it does other teams. Not to say that I can't put in a lot of work, because, I mean, it's still a Weavile, but it just doesn't blatantly put in as much work against my team as it does a lot of others. So we'll see if it shows up, but I still think Mega Blastoise is the key, one of the keys to victory. I need to be really careful with it. So that is the first Pokemon. Next Pokemon we have here is Lightbright the Lantern. Assault Vest, Volt Absorb with Volt Switch, Ice Beam, Scald Thunderbolt, max HP, 108 defense, 148 special attack with the Modest Nature, and the remaining 4 in special defense. This is actually my only EV spread this week that isn't just like 252, 252-4, or 248, 252-4, you know, whatever. This is the only one like that because week 1, Scyther basically swept me, because I didn't really have a good switch into, I want to say it was Aerial Ace? Yeah, it was Aerial Ace. I didn't really have a switch in for that, and it just bodied me. Last week, there was a Crobat, the Choice Banded Brave Bird, that I didn't have a switch into. It OHKO'd the rest of my remaining team, and when it didn't OHKO, it 2-hit KO'd. And so now, I'm tired of being caught off guard by Surprise Bird Spam. So, I have 108 defense EVs with the max HP to be able to comfortably live a Choice Banded Brave Bird from a Dodrio. I specifically have him on to take on Dodrio because I'm so tired of getting caught off guard by Surprise Bird Spam. I don't know if he'll bring Dodrio. It would be an interesting bring. He hasn't brought it yet, so, you know, he might be itching to use it. I don't know. But I am not going to be caught off guard and wrecked by a Dodrio. I think Mega Blastoise could also, you know, switch in on that, but, you know, Lantern just switches in on it better. Plus I can Volt Switch on his entire team. The only ground type he has is Torterra, which doesn't want to take an Ice Beam, and I outspeed Torterra if it's defensive, so, you know, he might not want to switch in fearing an Ice Beam. But most likely, I'm going to be Volt Switching all over the place. Lantern's probably my designated lead, because, like I said, he only has that, you know, Torterra as his ground type, and I don't expect it to come in too much. But we'll see. We also have to play around depending on whether he brings the Torterra. So, yeah, we're gonna have to see how that plays out. But that's Lantern for you. And the next one, as you can see, I'm so happy to finally be bringing this thing. You know, when I drafted Sawsbuck, I said that I really wanted to bring it. I really wanted to show that it can do work in League format. And the spread that you might see on your screen is probably not the way you expected me to bring Sawsbuck. But let's just go over what it is. This is Leftovers, Physically Defensive Sawsbuck, max HP, max defense, with a Bold Nature, Sap Sipper, Hidden Power Ice, Leech Seed, Toxic Synthesis. This is annoying Sawsbuck. I actually have 2 Pokemon that are brought just to be annoying. Without Saucebuck, I actually Saucebuck is the only thing I have to switch into Torterra. Torterra is literally Torterrifying. Hello? I understand. Guys, that was the president of the PPL. They just called me, and I'm getting kicked from the league for making such a terrible pun. No, but seriously, like, Torterra can actually, like, wreck through my team. So, I actually need a way to stop Torterra. It's really funny that I have a mod dedicated to stopping Dodrio, and now I have a mod dedicated to stopping Torterra, because that's literally just how this team is. I can take on, like, Jack's, you know, bigger threats, you know, quote unquote, pretty easily, or easier compared to, like, some of these lower tier things that he could catch me off guard with. Hidden Power Ice is the best thing to hit Torterra back with. If he's bringing Torterra offensively, then he's not going to be running Synthesis on it, most likely. So I should be able to outstall him. Hidden Power Ice could also be used for a Salamence. I mean, I could take an Earthquake from a Salamence, you know, things like that. You know, the only thing I can't take is Salamence is most likely going to be having Flamethrower or Fire Blast because I have a Scizor on my team. So, I mean, he might have that, so I can't really 1v1 that thing, but, you know, if I get lucky, catch it on a switch, maybe catch Dodrio on a switch with Hidden Power Ice. I'm probably just going to be Leech Seeding a lot, Toxicking things, Synthesis, but yeah, I take, like, 30% or something from, like, a, you know, Adamant Life Orb Earthquake from a Torterra. So, yeah, this is my only way to deal with it, and didn't want it running through my team. I don't know how much work this is going to put in. I think Leech Seed is going to be helpful. I think Saucebuck is actually going to be kind of difficult for him to take out. Saucebuck might also be able to kind of be annoying to the Aromatisse as well. Aromatisse is going to be really hard to take out. I'm going to have to try wearing it down. So I have two kind of wear downy type Pokemon. And then, yeah. So I'm going to have to try and be as annoying to him as his team can be to me. I mean, he has Aromatisse and Mega Slowbro, both of which are going to be really annoying. So I am going to just be as annoying. Yeah, that's that. So I'm really hoping Saucebuck, Yua, that's you know, because this is the closest thing to a moose. So we have Yua the Saucebuck. Hoping to put it work. Let's do this. Then we are finally bringing Typhlosion again. Bloodthirsty here, and we're, you know, actually bringing it as, you know, a semi-standard set. So this is Choice Scarf, Flashfire, Max Special Attack, Max Speed Timid, with the 4 and Spadef, with Toxic, Hidden Power Ice, Focus Blast, and Heat Wave. Like I said, Ice and Fighting coverage basically, you know, wrecks his team. Heat Wave also can hit a good chunk of his team. I mean, Heat Wave, you know, hits Weavile without having to risk Focus Miss as much. Heat Wave also, you know, hurts like Dry Skin, you know, Heliolisk, as well as takes out Fortress, and does a lot to Torterra. I mean, Heat Wave just does a good amount of chip damage. Focus Blast and Hidden Power Ice are just more for coverage to do a little bit more damage if I need it. Focus Blast has to be brought for Heatran. I would much prefer Hidden Power Ground, but I can't run Hidden Power Ground and Hidden Power Ice, and I just feel like I need Hidden Power Ice for, you know, if it comes towards the end of the match and, you know, Torterra, Salamence, and, you know, Dodrio are like the only things left. It's like, okay, well, I can Hidden Power Ice the rest of his team and I can sweep up. So Typhlosion's kind of hit and miss. I think it could do work. It could be late game sweeper. This thing could win me the game at the end. So I need to make sure that I'm being very careful with this thing and that I'm not just letting it die. Toxic also is just because Mega Slowbro is a very easy switch into this thing. So I would like to Toxic it. I wanted to bring Toxic Spikes, like I said earlier. But the only thing that I really wanted Toxic is the Mega Slowbro. So I'm looking at Dragalge, and I mean, Jack has a decent amount of ground coverage, or just coverage in general, to hit Dragalge for a lot of damage. And I just couldn't really switch it in very easily, so that's why I didn't bring it. And I was like, if I want a Toxic the Mega Slowbro, why don't I just, you know, get a mon that can Toxic it. So that's what I'm doing. I know Aromatisse might be carrying Heal Bell, so it's going to be difficult to keep a Toxic on the thing. But, I mean, the more Aromatisse has to go for Heal Bell, the more I can play around that and, you know, possibly get a big hit off on it with something. So, but yeah, so that's Typhlosion. Next one here is Gardevoir. Welcome to the most annoying Gardevoir set you will see in your life. Akbar the Gardevoir is being brought with max HP, max special defense, calm nature, 4 in defense with Wish Toxic, protected Encore with the ability Trace. This is to prevent Mega Slowbro from outstalling all of my Pokemon. There was a similar situation in which Mega Slowbro became really hard for RTK to take down. That was 2 weeks ago, where RTK had everything in his favor, but then the Mega Slowbro was left, started setting up Calm Minds, and the only way that RTK would win was to Toxic it and then like sack off a bunch of his Mons. Gardevoir is here to prevent that from happening. If I get into a situation where, you know, Mega Slowbro is starting to set up Calm Minds, you know, if it's the only thing left, I can Toxic it. Well, I can Encore it into Calm Minds, so it can't do anything else. It can't actually attack. You know, I can Toxic it, and then I can just Wish Protect. Gardevoir also becomes a pretty effective Wish Passer in this game, because I can bring it in on Slowbro pretty easily with max special defense. You know, if I guess incorrectly, if I think he's going to go for a Calm Mind and I switch in Gardevoir and he, you know, instead he goes for an attacking move, I mean, he's going to do like 30%, like 20 to 30% if he's defensive. So it's like I can switch in on Slowbro. I can 1v1 it very easily, as well as I can use it to just Wish Pass to other things as well. Which is going to be pretty helpful because there's not much else on my team that has great recovery. Sawsbuck does, and Conkeldurr kind of does, but at the same time it kind of doesn't. So it's like things have, like, you know, semi-recovery, like Lantern. Lantern. Oh, I also forgot to say that Lantern is also there for the Heliolisk, by the way, because, you know, Assault Vest Volt Absorb. Heliolisk can't really touch it unless it's like modest specs Hyper Voice. But hopefully he doesn't bring that. And if he does, I'll be able to work around it. Probably with Gardevoir, but either way. Yeah, so Gardevoir is just annoying. It's going to try and Toxic things, it's going to Wish Protect, it's going to have leftovers. I didn't want Synchronize just on the off chance that Slowbro has like Thunder Wave or something. Like if I switch in and he like Thunder Waves my Gardevoir and then, you know, I end up paralyzing the Mega Slowbro, that completely takes away my ability to just wear it down with Toxic. So no other status is allowed to be on the Slowbro other than a Toxic. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really hard to take out. I can do damage to it with Mega Blastoise and Lantern, but just not quite enough to take it out reliably. So Gardevoir is here to prevent me from being outstalled. And then Conkeldurr. Jorgen the Conkeldurr. I finally am not bringing like physically defensive Assault Vest, but I am still bringing Assault Vest. Someday, guys, one day I will bring a not Assault Vest Conkeldurr. It'll happen. But until that day, also I really want to bring a not Guts one, but Guts just makes sense. This is kind of my answer for Heatran. Assault Vest, Guts, Drain Punch, Mach Punch, Ice Punch, Poison Jab, Max HP, basically Max Attack, Adamant, with the remaining in Special Defense. This is my answer to Heatran. If he runs a bit more of a defensive Heatran and, you know, decides to go for a Will-O-Wisp, or, you know, maybe he wants to Toxic with his Aromatisse or something, I don't know. There are just a couple of opportunities that he would have to status the Conkeldurr, and if I didn't have Guts and that did happen, I would lose a big part of this game. Drain Punch hits so many things for so much damage, and what Drain Punch doesn't hit, Ice Punch and Poison Jab do. The only thing that Conkeldurr can't take out with 2 hits is Hitmonchan, I think. Yeah, and Hitmonchan can't really do much back. I win the 1v1 matchup with Hitmonchan. So, Conkeldurr is a big, you know, it's really important. It's really important for me this match. Mach Punch is also a guaranteed OHKO and Weavile, so I don't need to worry about that. I can scare it out. I could also, if I don't think he's going to go for a knockoff, I can just let him hit me, go for a Drain Punch. It's a dead Weavile, and I have, a good amount of health. It takes on Heatran very, very well. Unfortunately, I think it's an overheat from a max special attack modest Heatran, still does like 60%. But that does mean, I'm pretty sure he can't 2-hit KO me. But I would need a Drain Punch. I imagine Aromatisse is going to be more one to come in, but Poison Jab actually does a lot. It does like 46 to 54% to a physically defensive Aromatisse. So either A, I can predict the switch into Aromatisse, or if I just get enough chip damage, if he's defensive like that, and if he switches it in on like a Drain Punch, I could be ballsy. I could stay in, go for a Poison Jab. Moonblast does about the same to me. It does about 46%, I think, to Conkeldurr. And I outspeed unless he puts a hefty amount of speed investment. He would have to be a lot of speed. It's not like, probably not like max speed, but he would need a lot of speed, which means that he wouldn't be taking hits as well. So I can, as weird as it sounds, the only really reliable way I have to actually take out the Aromatisse is by Conkeldurr. So yeah, but Conkeldurr can switch into so many different things. It's ridiculous. So it's gonna be so important. Ice Punch just demolishes Torterra, demolishes Salamence, Dodrio, and I can take a hit from any one of them. Actually, I probably wouldn't want to stay in on Dodrio. That's what I have Lantern for. But like, if Conkeldurr's at good health and any of those Pokemon look like they're gonna be a threat, like Salamence could easily be a threat. Dragon Dance Salamence, like, it's an issue. It's an issue. Conkeldurr can take a hit though. But I'd really rather not have to switch it in. I might end up having to. We'll see. It just depends on how this match plays out. Jack could bring literally any combination of 6 Pokemon, and I wouldn't be surprised. There's no Pokemon on his team that blatantly doesn't do that much against my team. I don't think Weavile does a whole heck of a lot, but he might just bring it because it's a Weavile, and if it gets like Swords Dances up, and maybe the Mega Blastoise is dead, like he can still knock off like everything, and it does like a ton of damage. So he could bring that. I don't really think Fortress does a lot for him. It's kind of is free switches for me. He can't really Volt Switch out when I have a Volt Absorb Lantern, and then I can Volt Switch on him and get a free switch into something like Typhlosion. I can switch basically anything I want into Fortress. But if he's really scared of like Toxic Spikes or Stealth Rocks, both of which I almost brought, then he might just lean to Fortress as his Rapid Spinner. But we'll have to see how this game plays out. I do think I have a really good chance to win this game. I've been playing pretty well. I think last week, I played pretty much flawlessly. The actual gameplay, I don't think I made a single mistake. Just because, I think I played basically the best that I could have played. So as long as I keep that up and I keep playing the best I could play, then I'm putting myself in the best possible position to win. Hacks has been a deciding factor in a lot of games for a lot of people this season, so hopefully that's not the reason that I would lose this game, but I feel like if I do lose, that would probably be a contributing factor, because as long as I play well, I should be fine. We'll see how this game plays out. We really want this win. I really want this win. We really need this. If we win, we'll be 2-2, and then one more win, and we'll have a winning record, and we'll be in such a good position. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop rambling. We'll see how this plays out. Make sure you stay tuned to the battle, which will be up tomorrow. And yeah, wish me luck. I'm getting nervous. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the team in the comments on all that stuff. And yep, I'll see you tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Till the next time, guys. Stay sly.